to Come On Ye Spurs TV. This is Come On Ye Spurs TV. We set this up just to help out with everything to do with Spurs, news, transfer rumors, updates. And the season has kicked off to an amazing start for Tottenham. I mean, we had an amazing match against um, Southampton at the weekend. Bit of a shaky start to begin with Ward-Prowse's goal, and we went on to win 4-1. Now, if this is your first time here, please subscribe to our channel and share with your friends and relatives or colleagues or acquaintances. And if you want to leave a comment, if you enjoy what you see, leave a comment and like our page as well. With me today, I have Chuma. Chuma is our resident expert. I call him our resident guru. Chuma, welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm well, Soji. Happy Friday, Spurs Nation. Top of the league. All we have to do is maintain for another 37 games, and
37 games. Come
the
on.
league title is as good as ours.
That's a little matter of 37 days. How about that?
Just 37 more games for us to hold the Premier League title up and say, yes, definitely, job done. So, looking forward to the next 37 games, starting with our nearest and dearest, Chelsea, on
Oh,
Sunday.
um, let's just have a quick update. I mean, quick look at the last match. I mean, what? I mean, I thought the guys did a great job. Given where we were coming from, I know we did a bit of I mean, post match report last week, but still, it still leaves a good feeling when when you end the weekend at the top of the table, even though it's only one match.
Yeah.
What do you think,
It's
Chuma?
hard to say. Yeah, no, I say it's hard to say. It's hard to say that you'd feel disappointed being top of the league. After the first game, so everyone's buzzing. It was really something. Come from behind win at home.
Yeah,
It just went against every stereotype that's ever been slung at Spurs. Lots of our enemies were rejoicing when Southampton went to goal ahead.
I know, right?
And the whole quote unquote that horrible swear word called Spursy
I know.
um, was being put out on social media. And then we just came back and did what we do, which we've been doing for the last 7 months now. It's just, we kill. We go out, once we sense blood, we kill. We kill. We're efficient killers. And our two best assassins didn't get in on the act. It should be very, very scary for the rest of the league, in my opinion.
I think you're right. When you think about it, we didn't have Kane on the score sheet. Neither did we have Son on the score sheet either. Even though they had really good chances to put Salah to bed. I mean, had created a lot of chances, but they didn't get on the score sheet. And on top of that, we had attacking threats from every conceivable angle. Emerson was a threat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Emerson was a threat going forward. I mean, combined with Kulusevski, even for the final goal, was really good to see. And it got into good positions throughout the match. That was really pleasing to see. I hope long may it continue. We're moving on this weekend to the bridge. You know, some people call it the Battle of the Bridge. I mean, I'm not going to go that far, but hey, that's what is being coined. And I know the last time we had a really bad, I mean, exchange when we had Poch. And we had to win that match, not to win the title, but at least to stand a chance
Keep
against.
us in the mix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even though we were 3 points behind. I think we were if we had won that match, we would have put us, I think, a point behind Leicester, if you remember, right? And
Yeah.
we ended up drawing that match. That was a really feisty battle, if I recall. Bookings all over the place, or fights throughout the match.
Mm.
We're 2-0 ahead, and it seemed that for a very long time we had the match under control, and then all of a sudden we just seem to have lost it. That sort of coined the acronym, the name Battle of the Bridge. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this Saturday. I think it's a different team totally from what we had in when we were there in January. I mean, do you remember when we were there in January? What did we have? I mean, we had
Yeah, yeah. You had I think he changed formation because he didn't have Son, and by that time we hadn't. I don't think we'd concluded for Bentancur and Kulusevski at the time, so we were very sparse in midfield. I think Winks even started, and
yeah, it was Winks and Holberg,
even
wasn't it?
Winks and Højbjerg in central midfield.
Axin Dot
Uh,
and
he played 4-4-2 as opposed to his usual 3-4-3.
yeah,
We had, yeah, it was, but I wanted to actually take your mind back. I think Chelsea have been very pivotal in what I would call the changing of the Spurs dynasties. Like every time Spurs either goes up or goes down, Chelsea are somewhere in that mix, either causing it or creating some sort of. I don't know if you remember the game against Chelsea. That was like the turning point for Harry Kane. That was the emergence of Harry Kane, the 5-3 at Christmas. I think it was a Boxing Day game.
I remember that one. Yes, I remember that one. Yes.
That 5-3, that was when Pochettino's Spurs now started clicking. That's when they started getting their patterns right. That game was so huge. And that's what started Pochettino, in my opinion, that's what started the rise. That's when people started believing the stuff Pochettino was doing could work.
Yeah.
And players rose from strength. Kane was already scoring, but after that game, Kane became the man
Became lethal.
after that game.
It really became lethal.
Yes. And then leading up to the game you were referring to earlier on, which was the Battle of the Bridge, where we were 2-0 ahead. It seemed we'd finally, and because we've had this whole thing of, at that point, we hadn't beaten Chelsea since 1990. We'd never beaten them at the Bridge.
Exactly.
It was such a huge game. 2-0 ahead, you're already celebrating. And also, they came back to 2-2. And it was just the fact that not only had they drawn that game, a lot of our players, I think quite a few midfielders got into foul trouble and yellow cards. And then the audacity of the thing was Leicester now pulled ahead, and Chelsea was celebrating the fact that, forget the fact that they went in a mix.
Yeah.
They nobbled Spurs' chances. So it's been, I don't know how this guy, as a Spurs fan, I know you've been a Spurs fan probably longer than me. Um, I never looked at Chelsea as any kind of rivalry, and Chelsea fans, of course, will say, of course, you're not our rivals, you don't win trophies, usual. But I never felt anything about Chelsea. Chelsea were not, till Roman's money.
Absolutely.
I never felt, all of a sudden, once they got Roman's money, they started talking that, oh, you know, rightfully so with the titles they won, you know, but that's when this rivalry started. Up until then, yes, we hadn't won since 1990, but nobody really cared about whether we beat Chelsea or we didn't. And all of a sudden, getting to Roman, it just turned to Chelsea were these huge dogs. So,
And they had.
what do you think about the rivalry?
I mean, you're right. I mean, I never considered Chelsea a rival club, honestly. I mean, until it had all this Roman money coming, and it was like, I mean, when they had Ken Bates and I mean, and all those, and they had what's that guy, the man who died in the aircraft crash.
Matthew Harding, yeah,
Harding, yeah,
Matthew
exactly.
Harding.
And so I mean, for me, I mean, Chelsea never even featured in my rival list of clubs. I mean, even though they used to beat us, I mean, but it wasn't like a big deal. It was just like, oh well, we just like the West Ham hoodoo, if you like, or the kind of teams that just create
Exactly.
problems for you, but they don't. It's like the old Stoke rivalry, or what you want to call it. You know, you're never going to Stoke on a Tuesday night or Monday nights when you never win there. Like,
Yeah,
no
yeah, exactly.
basis, and yeah, so it's that sort of team. I looked at Chelsea that I mean at the time. I mean, I knew I'm gonna get a lot of stick for this, but hey, that's the way we looked at them back then until Roman's money came and yeah, started sort of had Mourinho and became title winners. Even then, I still didn't consider them as rivals at all. They'll probably turn around and say, yeah, we didn't consider you rivals either because you weren't winning anything anyway, So, but there you go. I felt that, I mean, we kind of, I don't know what happened at the last match we played against them in January in the Premier League. I don't know. I mean,
It was, yeah, it
big,
was, it was. I think, yeah, it was the injury to Son. the methods were still bedding in. We were still in the cycle of win loss. There was this period win loss, win loss, win loss, win loss,
Yes,
and
and Conte was just beginning to bed in at the time. I mean,
yes, yeah. And Christmas, I think over Christmas we did quite well during that Christmas period. I think the December we played Liverpool. I think that's when we got that draw with Liverpool. So it was still up, down, up, down. There was no consistency of wins. And then after this game was when Kulusevski and Bentancur arrived,
absolutely.
and
Now,
the tides just changed.
it just brings us the team news coming up now, because if you think about it,
Yeah,
now we've got a full complement of the team. We have possibly only one first team player out, which is Ole Skip with a foot injury. Now we have Bentancur, we have Kulishevsky, we have Longley, we have Perisic, we have Richarlison, all available for selection. Now,
yeah.
it's mouth-watering prospects where we are now in terms of and the way the team is playing. If you think about it, none of the um, none of the six that we signed up in the summer um, featured in the starting 11,
Yeah.
and we still ended up playing really well. Okay, granted, it's against Southampton. We shouldn't get carried away, fair enough. But now some people say this is the real test, against Chelsea, and they're playing at home. We haven't won there in quite a while, but hey, it's time for us to sort of step up, if you like. What do you think?
Well, I agree that we haven't won there in a while. I still think it's too early to like this is going to decide anything. I always look at the first 5 games as um, excuse me, more or less preseason of the season, if that makes any sense. Like you're
Yes,
still
it's sort of
because you have a lot of promoted teams.
like
They're still carrying they're still carrying the ginger of their previous thing. So you get a lot of mini upsets along the way.
yeah.
But in terms of a start of the season and going to Chelsea, I don't think I have ever seen as many optimistic Spurs fans as I have this year or this season. The
I
number of people I know on social media that usually at this point they're talking about negative, let's go in there, let's not lose. These guys are saying no, we're going there to take those points.
yeah. No,
It's
I think
it's not that many, not crazy, but it's there.
yeah.
The optimism is really there.
Well, there's a lot of factors involved, obviously, to have that sort of confidence. I think the key for me will probably be Conte's effect. Is worked with the team for a long time now, well, reasonably long time. He's had the benefit of preseason, and he's also had the benefit of having added more players to a team that is on the rise, if you like, So, and if you look at what we did towards the end of last season, to getting the Champions League place against all the odds, it given the team so much more confidence. And we go forward. I mean, it's almost like going back to the Poch days when you have going to the matches, you don't think you're going to lose. You think, bring it on, bring it on. So that's the sort of feeling Spurs fans
Mm.
are having now. For me, I think long may it continue. That's what I'll say. So I mean, I'm very very much looking forward to that match. And if we have a pre-match, sort of post-match review. I mean, and we sort of broadcast that live after the match. So on Sunday rather, we would have possibly just about 6:45. We'll start out. So if you want to join us then, please feel free to tune in and leave your questions. And come and support the team, and yeah, hopefully we'll have good things to report on the day. So yeah, I mean that's very much something to look forward to. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, this is a good time to hit the subscribe button, and you also if you want to get notified anytime we go live, by all means, please hit the notification button again at the